Hey, 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 happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang channel. Welcome aboard! It is Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. This is live stream number 976. If this is your first time joining me, let me point out, super casual around here, just hanging out talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. And we'll normally take a first look at a game, or I might share a live review. Well, we are certainly not engaging in rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. Now, tonight, I am going to be taking a dive on into a very highly anticipated Starfinder release. That's right. We're taking a peek at Starfinder Enhanced from Paizo Inc. In fact, I just shared my Paizo preview for October a couple hours ago. It went live, and I took a little bit of a peek in here, but I even pointed out that I would be taking a far deeper dive into Starfinder Enhanced on tonight's show. So that is coming up in just a bit. I should point out, though, if you are tuning in specifically for the first look, we do tackle the tabletop gaming news first around here. So it'll probably be about 35, maybe 40 minutes before we get into that first look. So if you are watching live, just kick back, relax, put your feet up, enjoy yourself. It's hump day. Happy hump day. Halfway to the weekend. If your weekend is Saturdays and Sundays. And of course, if you are watching this 30 minutes or more after the show has ended, there will be timestamps. So if you are impatient and you just got to jump ahead past the news, fine. You'll be able to do so. And those timestamps are located in the show notes. And depending on the device you might be watching this on, could be right there in the timeline of the video too. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you will not find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And of course, because this is a live show, there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you are a subscriber to the channel for at least 48 hours, another way that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, and you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question, a comment, maybe there's something about Starfinder Enhanced you'd like to get a closer look at, by all means, chime in, and I will do my best to respond. First out the gate tonight is our friend, the Motor City Madman. Yes, the Madman is with us. He is one of our chat moderators. And Roger Perdome is also in the house. I would also take a guess. We may also be joined by Sarah D., another of our chat moderators, who tends to be a bit quieter than in chat than many of the folks hanging out. All right, let's jump on into the news because I've got a nice eclectic mix tonight. Arriving next month from Bezier Games is the second edition of Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Here's the skinny. In the tile-laying game Castles of Mad King Ludwig, Players are tasked with building an amazing, extravagant castle for, you guessed it, King Ludwig, well, the second of Bavaria, one room at a time. You see, the king loves castles. Having built the Neuschwanstein, it's the castle that inspired the castle at the Disney parks and others. But now he's commissioned you to build the biggest, best castle ever, subject, of course, to his ever-changing whims. Each player acts as a building contractor who is adding rooms to the castle he's building, while also selling his services to other players. In the game, each player starts with a simple foyer. One player takes on the role of the master builder, and that player sets prices for a set of rooms that can be purchased by the other players, with him getting to pick from the leftovers after the other players have paid him for their rooms. When a room is added to a castle, the player who built it gains castle points based on the size and type of room constructed, as well as bonus points based on the location of the room. When a room is completed with all entranceways leading to other rooms in the castle, the player receives one of 7 special rewards. After purchasing in each round, a new player becomes the master builder who sets prices for a new set of rooms. After several rounds, the game ends, then additional points are awarded for achieving bonus goals, having those popular rooms, and being the most responsive to the king's demands, which change each game. Because he's mad. I'm just tossing that in. Whoever ends up with the most castle points is the winner. Now, this second edition is going to feature upgraded art, a beautiful new scoreboard, swan player markers, game trays organizers, and more. Castles of Mad King Ludwig 2nd edition is for 1 to 4 players. I think you can expand it out to 5 with the additional, I think it's a renovations expansion. It is for ages 13 and up, plays in around 90 minutes. Will carry an MSRP of $69.95 when it lands in stores in November. Well, full disclosure, as big a fan as I am of tile-laying games, you know I am a fan of tile-laying games. I've actually never played Castles of Mad King Ludwig. And I do understand it's pretty good. People like it quite a bit. I have never actually checked it out. I know. For shame. How dare I call myself a tile-laying game fan and have never played Castles of Mad King Ludwig. 1st edition or 2nd edition. I know. I'm ashamed. I should just end the stream now. In fact, I will. That's it. No, I won't. Viper Dave is with us. Sarah D is hanging out. I had a feeling I could sense it. I was using my psychic abilities, of which I have none. I got a little bit. I'm relatively intuitive, so there's that. But yes, Viper Dave is also with us in chat. On to our next news piece. Let's talk about some role-playing game news, because the hit fantasy role-playing game Dragonbane is about to receive its first bestiary from Free League Publishing. And I've got the latest here during Free League Publishing Week. Yes, this is today's only Free League Publishing shout out. But we've got other Free League Publishing stuff this week too. From cat people to chimeras, fairies to frog people, hippogriffs to hydras, and much more. This bestiary for the Dragonbane role-playing game includes no less than 63 wondrous creatures for the player characters to encounter. Each of them is brought to life in text and art, as well as a random encounter and a seed for a complete adventure. Among these fantastic beings, there are 9 new playable kin, each with their own unique ability. The full hardcover book is gloriously illustrated by Johan Egerkrans and David Brasgala. Right now, you can pre-order the 150-page hardcover for an MSRP of $39.99, and you will receive the PDF immediately after you place your order, as I believe Tessie Trekkie, who is not in chat just yet, likes to point out when I say, oh, you get the PDF immediately. It normally takes about 15 minutes. That's pretty immediate in my book. The PDF is not available yet. No, it is not. Although, I've got a copy. Yeah, people at Free League Publishing, they like me. I'm their friend. So there. Although, I'll be honest, I haven't taken a peek at it yet. I never do. I know, that's bizarre, isn't it? I never take a look at the PDFs that companies send to me when I know there's going to be a physical release sent. Reason why is because when I do a first look video, I really want it to be a first look. I really want to be surprised by what I encounter at the same time as you out there happens to be watching, unless it's not a live video. Then I get to experience ahead of you. But I would think the PDF should be out at DriveThruRPG soon. It is not yet. And it will probably carry an MSRP of $19.99. Lord Cost 2000 is joining us. Flaming Huron says, wouldn't be much of a first look if you already looked. Yes, Flaming Huron's with us too. So a trio of our chat moderators are hanging with the gang in chat. Yeah, it really wouldn't, would it be? But then again, you know, I could fudge it. I could pretend that I haven't looked at anything. Oh, wow, check that out. You know, you almost believed it, right? You almost thought that I was amazed by something I hadn't seen before. Oh, goodness gracious. Look at that. I am pretty excited about this bestiary. Although, I got to be honest, I don't think we're going to get to see the physical copy until early next year. I don't have an exact release date for this. Kind of strange. On to our next news piece. Something I know is in transit to me right now, which is available from Chaosium Inc., is the latest release in the Cults of RuneQuest line. Here's what I know about mythology. Enter the time of myth and legend. Cults of RuneQuest mythology is an indispensable history of the mythology of the storied and epic Bronze Age fantasy world of Glorantha. What's inside? An explanation of myths and mythology and how it works in Glorantha. Cults of RuneQuest mythology includes dozens of Gloranthan myths ready to be reflected at your game table, giving further context to the mythical history of the world. Cults of RuneQuest mythology is a system-free book with no rules text. This supplement is perfect for any RuneQuest player or game master, as well as any fan of the world of Glorantha, players of other role-playing games, and anyone with an interest in creative mythology. This supplement is an enhancement to the Cults of RuneQuest line of player books for RuneQuest. Cults of RuneQuest mythology is intended to provide a greater understanding of the rich and textured mythological world of Glorantha, and can be used in combination with any of the books in the Cults of RuneQuest line, which there are currently 2 that have reached the public. The Lightbringers and the Earth Goddesses, and I have shared first looks of those and actually have reviews of those arriving in the next week or 2. Right now, this 168-page hardcover of RuneQuest mythology with PDF can be had for an MSRP of $39.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone over at DriveThru right now. I should say DriveThruRPG right now. For some reason, I have a piece of fuzz hanging on my cheek, and there's a fly flying around down here. It's like, where the hell did you come from? Anyway, you can grab the PDF alone over at DriveThruRPG for $18.99. Looking forward to checking this one out. It is in transit. It has shipped out. So I'm going to take a guess. I'll probably see it around maybe Saturday. So if that is the case, we will definitely put this on the agenda for next Tuesday night. So we will jump into that and look at that ASAP. On to my final news piece, now available in print and PDF, is the Seeker's Guide to Twisted Taverns for 5e D&D from Ghostfire Gaming. Here's the lowdown. The Seeker's Guide to Twisted Taverns is a wondrous collection of taverns and inns, all with varying scales of fantasy. This edition is primarily designed to be compatible with 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, but also functions as a huge collection of inspiring rooms, characters, and more to plug and play into your campaigns. With 17 different taverns total, each can be enjoyed by any adventurer scattered across any setting, ranging from the grim and seedy dealings in the bloated bounty to the world-shaping Wildeback Tavern. The diversity of each tavern and inn's culture is a spectacle of its own. The Seeker's Guide to Twisted Taverns includes 17 total taverns ranging from levels 1 to 20, perfect for incorporating into any 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign. There are tavern operators and guests introduced to your party to encounter in possibly a tavern brawl. A unique quest board for each tavern with a range of adventures for your players to choose from, no matter how big or small. There are also food and drink menus featuring items you would experience if you visited these twisted taverns. There's even a brand new 2 to 4 player card game to play with your players and friends. The 320-page hardcover carries an MSRP of $49.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone over at DriveThruRPG for $24.99. I thought this looked pretty interesting. That's why I wanted to share this news piece with you. Because, for one, the artwork looks pretty impressive alone. And you figure, hey, Dungeons & Dragons, you're always looking for new taverns to bring into play. And let's be honest, some of the inns and the taverns outside of, oh my gosh, what is the one that's in Waterdeep? The one that's actually it's got the hole in the middle of it that leads down into the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. I always forget the name of it. Outside of that, a lot of the taverns and inns in the D&D adventures, at least 5e D&D adventures, are kind of single note, not too memorable. So this looks very cool. This looks very cool. And it did have a very successful crowdfunding project to bring this to the public. And this is not the first and only D&D release from Ghostfire Gaming. They've got a lot of stuff. The Madman points out it's the Yawning Portal. Thank you. It was weird. I knew it was Portal, and I'm thinking, what the hell is the name of something Portal? Like, damn it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm wiping my memory banks of all things D&D right now. Which I will talk about in just a second. But once again, this is available both in print and PDF if you are interested. All right, that is it for the news tonight. Of course, I was just talking about DriveThruRPG. Don't forget, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit DriveThruRPG or Dungeon Masters Guild, Storytellers Vault, Wargame Vault, what have you, any of the One Bookshelf sites, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get 5% of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. I say it all the time. We don't have cheapo $3 GoDaddy hosting. There's no way that you can pull in over 1 million unique visitors a year with that kind of hosting. But thankfully, visiting DriveThruRPG using our banner ads actually pretty much pays for our hosting on a monthly basis. So much appreciated. Of course, if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, you can always swing on over to paypal.me/thegaminggang to make a small donation. Yes, you can swing on over and make a donation and buy me a 2-liter bottle of soda. I am not using the trick or treat cup tonight because I knocked the damn thing over earlier today when I was shooting my Paizo preview. So I'm going with a shorter, stubbier cup. It's orange, it's Halloween-ish, and it's a Chicago Bears cup, so there's horror right there for you. Terror. Anyway, big thank you to the Madman and Melwinius of York for their recent donations over at paypal.me/thegaminggang. They were not small donations, I must say. Flaming Heron says, only if you're a Bears fan. Oh no, if you watch Bears games, even just as a football fan, it's horror. It's horrible. Don't have to be a Bears fan. I mean, you could just be like, oh wow, hey, I want to watch some football. Yeah, this game should be good. It won't be. Kevin R. Smith and Jack Hanks are both with us in chat. I think I've said hello to everyone who is hanging out with us tonight. Madman says, I feel for you, Jeff. As a Lions fan, I've lived through it for far too long. Lions look good, in my opinion, and this is not a sports show by any stretch of the imagination, although I am a gambler anyway. But a couple bucks here or there. It's, I'm not like a broken down horse player or anything like that. I personally think right now the Lions are the best team in the NFC. Yep, you heard those words come out of my mouth. I think they're better than the Eagles. I think they're better right this moment than the 49ers. 49ers have a lot of injuries, so that's kind of why. But yeah, I think right now, at this moment, Lions are the best team in the NFC. Kevin R. Smith says, don't they play the Browns next? I think we don't even, the starting quarterback, Justin Fields, is hurt. He'll be out for a while. So we get the backup who hadn't played a snap of pro football last week when he came in. That's nice. That's good to know. Yeah. It is what it is. I expected nothing from the Bears. I know a lot of people in the Chicago area were like, oh, they're going to be pretty good. Oh, they're probably going to make the playoffs. And I was like, are you out of your mind? They might win 3 games. Maybe win 3 games. Nah, not so sure about that. They've got 1 win under their belt. But hey, they keep losing and Carolina keeps losing. Boy, that's going to be some really good first-round picks next year. All right, anyway, enough about football. As I mentioned, I was going to tell you about how I'm trying to remove all Dungeons & Dragons references from my memory banks. Got an email today thanking me for confirming my shipping address back on the 11th and how they're getting ready to ship out the Planescape slipcase set. Man, they have really gone out of their way to make sure that anybody who's not a shill didn't sniff that review copy prior to the release date. That's pretty sad. And I am really, really considering ripping Wizards of the Coast a new ass when I share the video for that. Because, and I know I've had people tell me, oh, well, you don't always like their stuff. So, you know, if I were a company and you said bad things about my product sometimes, I wouldn't send anything to you. So, well, then your company sucks balls. It's like, then your company knows the stuff you're releasing is shit. Anyway, so we'll see it. It's supposedly going to ship out. It hasn't shipped out yet, but they were thanking me for confirming my shipping address that they have had for years back on the 11th. So Flaming Heron says, do they want honest reviews or shills? They want shills. They have made their decision. That is what they want. They want shills. And I have seen some stuff popping up. I haven't watched it, but I have seen some of the stuff that Wizards has been promoting on X, Twitter. And it's sort of like, yeah, okay. I see how it is. I've said this umpteen times before. I am all for diversity. I feel everybody, unless you're an asshole, is welcome at my game table. But, I mean, come on. It's sort of like, you see these companies that are just bending over backwards to people who don't play their fucking games or buy their products. It's ridiculous. It's like, gosh, I sit there and I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, all right. And you'll even go and take a look to see, I don't do it often, but every once in a while I'll see something pop up from a company as far as what they're, you know, like promoting, they're retweeting, things like that. And you go and take a look and the video has like 70 views and it's 3 days old. And it's like, yeah, okay. Flaming Heron says they hate you if you're a white male. You said that. I didn't say that. You said that. I don't think they hate me. But yes, a lot of these companies have just completely ignored who their core audience is, and their core audience is getting tired of it. I mean, it's the honest God truth. So I don't know. All right. Anyway, something else I wanted to mention is you may recall when we took a look at the Empire Wax Back for Broncolonia, I shared a Broncolonia contest. And I never revealed who the winners were. Now, I revealed the live winner, but I was also going to do a winner for those who did not watch the show live and for those who watched live and wanted a second chance. But I never announced the winners because it turned out the PDF that I had for the Empire Wax Back was corrupted, and I had to wait to get a new copy. So I did get it. So because I had to wait, an extra week or 2 weeks or whatever, I am actually going to announce 2 additional winners. So Jason Matthews 4124 and Aventrost are the winners. It was simply like the video and share a comment about what your favorite spaghetti Western was. And I have chosen both of them. Either one of you or hopefully both of you can email Jeff McAleer at thegaminggang.com from the Google email address that is associated with your YouTube account. I know some people are kind of confused by that. It's just your Gmail account that is part of your YouTube account because Google owns YouTube. So that way I can make sure that it really is you saying, hey, Jeff, I'm a winner. As opposed to Flaming Heron trying to get his mitts on stuff. I know how Flaming Heron is. Yeah, those Australians down under, they're shady. Alrighty, so we are going to be diving on in to take a peek at Starfinder Enhanced from Paizo Inc. in just a couple of moments. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
Hey kids, listen to what's new in every Sugar Daddy. Wildlife baby cards. New cards, one free in every Sugar Daddy. 50 different cards. Baby animal stories on the back. To collect or trade while you enjoy caramel chewy Sugar Daddy. Get free Wildlife baby cards.
For kids, mister, for kids.
Wilkins Coffee's good coffee.
Boy, what a bad commercial.
The commercial may be bad, but the coffee's wonderful.
This is the story of the little bull who wanted to sing, but sing in a special way. His ambition was to sing in the Bull of the Woods Quartet.
Rich and mild. No, you must sing deeper.
Rich and mild.
You see, Bull of the Woods chewing tobacco is rich. It's mild, too, and your voice must express that mildness. Rich and mild. Deeper. Rich and mild. Fuller.
And so the little bull worked and sang and kept singing. His voice got richer and fuller and sweet as Bull of the Woods chewing tobacco, until that great day when he got his wish. Bull of the Woods, chewing tobacco. Bull of the Woods, chewing tobacco. Bull of the Woods.
It's a fact, sir.
Long filler can't be beat. Rich and mild, chewing tobacco. Man, it's good chewing tobacco. Bull of the Woods, chewing tobacco. Smooth and tasty chewing treat. He's the boss.
We hope you're enjoying your visit here this evening. Now, on with the show.
I think the chewing tobacco is what did the number on that bull's voice. Mild and, what was it? Mild and chewy or something like that. I was like, what? It's like, never understood the appeal of chewing tobacco. Yes, I do understand the appeal of nicotine. It's not the chewing tobacco aspect of it. Oh, well. Oh, Kevin R. Smith says, innocent times when Sugar Daddy had a whole different meaning. That candy's still around, I think. It's been a while since I've seen them. And Fleming Heron says the bull hadn't reached puberty. That was the problem with the voice. Get off me! Get off me! All right, so tonight we are going to be diving on in to take a peek at Starfinder Enhanced from Paizo Inc. It's written by Kate Baker, Michael Bramnick, Jessica Catalan, John Compton, John Curtin, Anthony Dollinger, Ivis K. Flanagan, Kim Franson, John Guttick III, Joan Hong, Jason Keeley, Sasha Laranoa Harving, Quinn Murphy, Emily Parks, Joe Passini, and James Rodehaver. And I apologize, I have probably mispronounced some of those names. This 192-page hardcover is available as of today. It carries an MSRP of $44.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone for $19.99. And I should mention, I got an email today from Paizo talking about their pricing increase, which is going to start on, I believe it's October 25th. Interesting. So I'll talk about that a little bit when we wrap up. Taking a peek at Starfinder Enhanced. And yes, I did change the color of the table here because even though I like that gray fabric, it had a bit of a design to it, which was kind of creating some strange anomalies with the camera. So I did not like that. So I do want to mention that I took a little bit of a peek at this during my Paizo preview video for October that I released a little bit earlier today. So this is not a complete first look. I have seen some of this stuff, just being honest. So I'm not going to be surprised like all of you. So there is that. And of course, we're not going to look at each and every page of Starfinder Enhanced, but I do want to dive into this a little more in depth than I normally do with first looks for role-playing game books, because I understand there are a lot of people very curious about what is in this supplement. And I will talk a little bit about Starfinder 2nd Edition, which is on the horizon as well. Flaming Heron said there's that fly. It's a pretty damn big fly, too. And there's a ladybug. All right, do you bugs realize it's, later October here? Like, what the hell's going on? Where are the spiders here in the kingdom of the spiders when I need them? Not the ladybug. The ladybug's okay. All right, so let's take a look at the back here. Upgrade your game. Enhance your Starfinder science fantasy stories with new versions of the Envoy. Every time I read the Envoy, I think of the Warren Zevon song. Solarian, Technomancer, and Witch Warper classes, revised to make them more balanced and easier to play. New class options for every Starfinder class. New archetypes, equipment, spells, and themes, plus more than 90 new feats. 12 playable species, including fan favorites and entirely new options. Rules for scalable custom equipment and new uses for resolve points. New subsystems for narrative starship combat and much more. Flaming Heron mentions, well, the spiders have to have something to eat. Oh, hey, I'm not. Remember, I didn't do anything to kill the spiders down here. I just did things to keep the spiders away from where I do the recordings. That's what I did. Should also mention the fine folks over at Paizo Inc. were kind enough to send me this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this video with you. It's important you know that. You know that. Those of you who watch all the time, you know that's really important. I just mentioned it for people who might be newcomers. All right, let's jump on in. So this is broken up into 3 sections. The largest of the sections, obviously enough, is going to be the character options. That's what we're looking at here. Damn, that fly almost went right onto the lens in front of me. Get out of here. I'm talking to the fly, not you out there at home. So we've got about 130 plus pages of character options. Then we have equipment, and then we have a short, maybe about a dozen pages, it looked like, of new rules, with the main focus on narrative starship combat. Now, before we dive on in, I do want to mention there are a lot of people out there who are kind of up in the air as far as picking up Starfinder supplements, knowing that Starfinder 2nd Edition is on the horizon, but it's not on the near horizon by any stretch. We aren't going to even see the full-fledged playtest until next Gen Con. And then Starfinder 2nd Edition is planned, it's not set in stone, but it is planned for a Gen Con 2025 release. So that's still a ways off. And as I mentioned in the Paizo preview video earlier, if second edition Starfinder takes a page from second edition Pathfinder, those first edition releases for Pathfinder were very easily ported over to second edition. Flaming Heron says, I don't know. I used to still buy Pathfinder first edition releases when second edition was a thing. Well, second edition is still a thing. I mean, that is the current edition of Pathfinder, although we are getting the, what is it, remastered? I called it revised earlier today. It's the remastered edition. Welcome to Starfinder Enhanced. As the Starfinder role-playing game expands to fill an entire galaxy of adventure, it's only natural for the breadth of options to begin to outweigh the depth. Starfinder Enhanced takes a deep dive into some of Starfinder's most fundamental systems, such as classes, feats, and spells, and enhances them with exciting new and improved options. In addition, Starfinder Enhanced provides some new systems to sink your teeth into, such as custom equipment and new uses for resolve points. And it's going to break down what we've got in this book. So we've got themes. So we have 11 themes, 6 brand new and 5 adapted from Starfinder Adventure Path volumes to bolster the backgrounds available. We have archetypes. So we've got 9 new archetypes. We've got creature companions. There are a dozen of them. A dozen new species, over 90 new feats. I don't know how many new spells we've got, but there's also some guidelines for designing spells. Then we have scaling equipment. And then, once again, we've got those narrative starship combat rules and some GM tools. We are not going to look at each and every page once again. I'm going to point that out. But I do want to get a good look inside of this. So these are the themes. Because I was like flipping through this during the preview, and I thought, oh, okay, so these are additional backgrounds. And they are backgrounds, but they are calling them themes. So a bouncer, pickpocket, personal trainer. A skittermander is a personal trainer. Okie doke. A vid gamer, street magician. And then we get into the new races. Let's see what we've got. Elania. Yeah, I guess Elania. Elabrian. Endifian, Knoll. Hey, I can pronounce that. Sweet. Marius Smith is with us. Good to see you. Hey, yay, the Gripply. I saw that in the preview video. I was like, oh, sweet, nice. I know a lot of people really dig the Gripply. Can be a hologram. Kale, Kitsune, Moyishu, Novian. I remember the Novians. From one of the, I think it's one of the species books. Samsaran, Skuridae. Right, and then we get into some other backgrounds. I do believe. And then we have the Enhanced Envoy. And it looks as if the way this is broken up is we have the 4 new enhanced classes, and then it also includes the backgrounds, or I should say archetypes, not backgrounds, the archetypes for them. Yes, the envoy, you know, sitting there negotiating peace treaties, right? With 2 guns, double-fisted there. So as you can see, we have all the various different feats here. So we've got the mechanic, the mystic, and I believe we have 4 pages or so devoted to each of these. Nanosite, as always, really nice artwork throughout. We've got the operative. And of course, I will have a review of this in the very near future. So we have our Enhanced Solarian. Solarians blend martial prowess and mystical powers, and the Enhanced Solarian provides additional ways to enjoy the class's supernatural abilities. These include a new way to gain attunement points, an alternative way to expend attunement points, and a lingering effect after activating Zenith powers. I guess I should go back and tell you what changes have been made to the Envoy. An Envoy's skill mastery and decisive leadership make any expedition stronger. The Enhanced Envoy preserves the class's existing talents while focusing on its versatility and gameplay by granting an additional improvisation, better blending attacks with class abilities, and encouraging an Envoy to dive into the action, inspiring comrades by example. So there is the Solarian, and then we get a soldier background or archetype. Why do I always just use those interchangeably. I know I shouldn't, but we've got the Enhanced Technomancer. The Enhanced Technomancer, I need a sip. I can't speak English today. Plus, that goddamn fly is like on the corner of my eye constantly. It was funny when I was sharing the brief intermission, it like dive bombed me. I was like, what the hell? Get flying right up into my face. The Enhanced Technomancer embraces the concept of technomancy, magic and technology combined into a single discipline, and gives the class multiple powerful ways to hack into and manipulate magic, even as it's cast by friends or foes. So we've got the Vanguard. We've got the Enhanced Witch Warper. Drawing energy and inspiration from countless alternate realities, the Enhanced Witch Warper introduces new ways to channel and learn from these other worlds over the course of your adventures. In addition, this update changes the Infinite Worlds ability, adjusting one effect and ensuring a Witch Warper can enjoy the ability much more often without diminishing their spellcasting potential. Then we got some fresh archetypes. We've got the Armored Visionary, the Autocyte, the Combat Controller, Counselor, Exalted Champion, Lights Player, Major League Coach. It's kind of funny. Stoppage Time. Through your dedication to team building, you've unlocked a rare technique that could turn the tide in your team's favor at a crucial moment. Once per day as a full action, you can cast Cheat Time. But instead of targeting yourself, you must distribute all the granted actions to allies within 60 feet of you, who must use them as they're granted or else they are lost. Interesting. Menagerie Manager, Thaumaturgic Trigger. Then we got our list of feats. I'm going to skip pages again. I just wanted to make sure you got a chance to see all of the new archetypes there, or backgrounds. Once again, like I said, it's like, I think those were archetypes. Miriam says, I thought that said cosplayer. All right, bear down. When foes attempt to resist your magic, you can redouble your efforts to break their defenses. Backpedal. When you scramble away from danger, you're harder to hit. Gussy up. By taking a moment to prepare before attempting to make an impression, you can help another creature look and feel more confident. Time touched. Whether by deliberate study or random chance, you possess some small knowledge and mastery of chronomancy. So quite a lot of those. Looks like we have some new spell lists as well as some new spells. It looked like we had maybe 4 to 6 pages of new spells, I think. Compounding failure. You fill the target's mind with self-doubt, pernicious ruminations, and crushing inadequacy. The target gains the shaken condition for the spell's duration, though this condition is not a fear effect and cannot be removed by effects that specifically negate fear effects. Whenever the target misses with an attack or fails an ability check or skill check, the penalties caused by the shaken condition increase by 1 to a maximum -4. Psychic intuition. You draw insights from the target's memories and emotions. This doesn't provide you specific information, but it primes your mind to read the target's mannerisms, feelings, and tells. For the duration of the spell, whenever you attempt a sense motive check against the target, you can roll the check twice and use the better result. As part of casting the spell, so long as a target does not negate the effects with a successful will save, you immediately attempt a sense motive check to sense mental effects on the target without having to spend at least 1 minute interacting with them. Awaken. You expand the mental faculties of an animal, a construct, or a computer, granting them human-like intellect. The subject must have either no intelligence score or an intelligence modifier of -4 or lower. The subject's intelligence modifier becomes 0, +1, +2, or +3, determined randomly. If their wisdom and charisma modifiers are lower than +0, those increase to 0. The awakened subject begins with a friendly attitude toward the ritualists, but has no compulsion to obey them. The subject must be awakened. The subject, I should say, to be awakened. Usually that term is uplifted. In science fiction games and that, when all-powerful alien beings raise the sentience of creatures and give them intelligence and that, it's usually called uplifting, not awakening. But that is kind of cool. Now, of course, we're looking at rituals here. Invoke curse. You curse a target as the bestow curse spell, except that you can use this ritual to affect a target at any distance, so long as you know their name, they are on the same plane, have an appropriate object for the sacrifice step. However, failing the released power step results in a 50% chance that the curse rebounds and is afflicted upon the ritual leader instead of the intended target. Here we've got our creature companions, so we've got a dozen of these. Couple on each page. I don't know. This sort of looks like a Japanese company's mascot to me. So is this a Regatrich or a Scooterroot? I'm taking a guess this is a Scooterroot. Cool. So now we get into scaling equipment. So one of the aspects that a lot of people were very interested in as far as scaling equipment is that if you find a piece of equipment, weapon, what have you, that you think is really cool and it really kind of incorporates well into your player character, as you level up, it's kind of like, it's just not, just toss it away because it's not powerful enough anymore. Well, that's what scaling equipment represents. Marius says this terminology for awaken is closer to the awaken spell in D&D. I don't know, I was just thinking science fiction wise, seeing that this is a science fantasy role-playing game. Every time I talk about Starfinder, I always mention how I wish it was more popular than it seems to be. I'm not saying it's not popular, but it is certainly, from at least from what I can tell, it's far less popular than Pathfinder. And I'm kind of curious, once we do get a second edition of Starfinder, which to my understanding is going to utilize that 3-action economy, which is really the big selling point for Pathfinder, or one of the big selling points for Pathfinder, I think we will see an increase in popularity. So here we've got augmentations. We have a Nyarlathotep augmentation. After you succeed at a bluff check to lie or an intimidate check to bully, you gain a +4 divine bonus to your next 2 checks of the same type, attempted within 24 hours. And then this is new gear, right? Oh, new magic items. The ever full mug. Ben Grimm's hands. Madman says they're definitely going to be picking up the second edition of Starfinder. I actually got Aaron Shanks, who, well, he was the director of marketing. Now he was promoted over at Paizo Inc. I interviewed him again at Gen Con this past year. And he gave me some Starfinder second edition. I could have swore it's some playtest materials. And I just, I put them with the rest of the stuff that I, got from various different companies at Gen Con. And I'll have to take a peek if that's what it was, or if I'm just, I know it's some Starfinder stuff. All right, so once again, we have new equipment. We got a lot of grenades here. Few weapons can provide the same thrill as grenades, compact explosives that affect a wide area. Whether spraying shrapnel, blasting sonic pulses, or even weakening the fabric of the universe, grenades have a big impact. It's kind of funny. And then we get, looks like a paragraph describing each of these grenades. We've got some serums, personal items. That's kind of cool. And then we get into our other rules. Once again, as I had mentioned earlier, there's only about a dozen pages for these. I think it's pretty much divided in half, kind of with the narrative Starship Combat and GM tools. The Starship Combat system presented in the Starfinder core rulebook is a deep set of rules involving multiple dice rolls, hex-based measurement, and a wide array of choices for building and upgrading a spacefaring vessel. It's the perfect fit for those groups who enjoy thinking tactically on a turn-by-turn basis and finding the best loadout of weapons and shields. Yeah, okay, min-maxing. We understand that. Other players might want something a little more fast-paced that still allows them to make important decisions, roll some dice, and engage in memorable encounters. One of the selling points for Starship Combat in Starfinder is all the player characters have something to do, which isn't always the case in science fiction role-playing games. Traveler is like that, or at least I should say Mongoose Traveler is like that too. So here we've got different actions depending on what role the player character plays on the ship. So engineer, gunner, pilot, magic officer. Then we get the GM tools. I saw this piece of artwork in the Paizo preview video, and I had to say that this is pretty cool. So it looks to me what this is supposed to be are a group of Skittermanders playing a role-playing game. I thought that was kind of funny. So we have alternate skill DCs, free archetype variants, milestone leveling. Yeah, I gotta be honest, I'm not a huge fan of milestone leveling. Although I'm not necessarily a huge fan of sitting there and calculating every last experience point either. But I have a hard time with role-playing games, especially early on, low levels. I mean, a lot of times it's like, oh, well, if your players have reached this point, they're now second level. Yeah, and they could have spent that whole first chapter or whatever of the adventure doing nothing. Missing a bunch of stuff, just kind of stumbling through, failing up. That's one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of milestone leveling. But like I said, I also don't want to sit there and constantly be like, okay, all right, carry the one. All right, okay, this, all right. So we've got the new rules for resolve points. I always get a kick out of these little onion-looking dudes. I'd say that is that's one pretty big gun for them. Resolve is a measure of your grit, luck, and ability to overcome adversity. All right, Jeff, it's adversity. I almost said adversary. And triumph in the face of insurmountable odds. For many, it's simply a part of them. Or for others, resolve can represent forces beyond their understanding. Moments of enlightenment or foresight, potent magical forces, inexplicable instincts, or even divine intervention. So, special uses for resolve points defensively, offensively, regarding transport and utility. Only a couple of pages. Then we've got our index and ports of call, as well as interstellar species. So that is a peek inside Starfinder Enhanced, which is available as of today from Paizo Inc. Once again, this 192-page hardcover carries an MSRP of $44.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone for $19.99. I almost said you get the PDF over at DriveThruRPG, but you cannot. Although there have been more Paizo products popping up on DriveThruRPG, but you can't get this. All right, let's swing back over to the other camera. All right, come on. There we go. Pretty cool, pretty sweet. This looked very interesting. And because it is mainly player-facing, I think this will do well. I think this will sell pretty well to the Starfinder fans out there. Because as we already know, player-facing books do very well for role-playing games. Far better than adventure books and GM-facing books, like source books for settings and things like that. All righty, tomorrow we are going to continue our Free League Publishing Week as I dive on in and take a look at Davokar Awakens for Symbaroum from our friends over at Free League Publishing. Sweet. And earlier today, I shared my review of Tales from the Loop. They grow up so fast. Once again, as I mentioned, it's Free League Publishing Week. Lots of stuff showing up about and from Free League Publishing. Okay, so that is it for this time out. If you liked the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell. It'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my aforementioned review of They Grow Up So Fast for Tales from the Loop, and also my Paizo preview for October 2023, which just went live a couple hours ago, about 3 hours ago now. Anyway, if you're watching live, thank you very much. If you watched live and took part in chat, big tip of the cap. Because not only do you keep me company, you keep each other company when I'm paging through stuff or unboxing a board game. But of course, I know a lot of you out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. I really do appreciate all of you taking time out to watch any of the videos here on the Gaming Gang channel. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. I'll be back tomorrow. And here's hoping you always get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.